Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, brave light bringers, old souls, and evolving beings. Today is a little more complex, and I wanted to dive just a little bit deeper into understanding 0 point and how to remain balanced because we are moving into a finishing time in a sense. And the beautiful part is all endings mean magnificent new beginnings. But the question is, can you center yourself enough to be able to ride the wave, remain balanced in the storm, and be that beacon of light and hope for others, which is why many of us are here today. Unfortunately, so many have just followed along with the crowd in the religions where oftentimes one goes to worship or to repent or to be forgiven. And our source God, the real universal God, does not need you to repent. Universal source needs you to forgive yourself and to understand the universal laws of one. And if we continue to fall into false doctrine, false religions, many believe that they are worshiping their beautiful Jesus. And they are worshiping them, putting him on a pedestal through their churches and through dogma. And while they think they are making a connection, we have been so bamboozled in the religious world that we have actually walked ourselves in certain religions right into Satanism. And I don't want to say too much more than that because there are some people who are still waking up, and that is their journey for them to find. And if you know, as I've discussed in other videos, in the higher dimensions, there is no religion because religion was corrupted to keep men in slavery. And when you find oneness and the highest spiritual beingness, there is no need for dogma. There is no need for religion. Our telepathy is so strong, we see right through the heart and soul of the other entity and being and can exist in pure love if that's what we choose to exist in. And many through the centuries have chosen pure evil, some by choice, and it's hard to understand. But whenever you separate off from source, there is the chance to explore evil and there is the chance to explore good. And in this awakening, this period right now, evil went way too far. Therefore, balancing has had to happen. We are in the most massive balancing act a planet like Earth has seen in a very, very long time. And while I know the Bible was corrupted, we're missing many, many books. We don't even get proper translations. Sometimes even the Greek, the Aramaic, and the Hebrew, which I loved researching, even those have been corrupted. But I am going to share two passages, and I'm just going to use the King James Version, which at one point it was not corrupted. It is corrupted now. So anything that I say has a portion of not 100% accuracy, but it's close enough to make my point. So, of course, in Ephesians, 6:12 of the King James Bible. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." You see, this final balance that we are coming into is way beyond our human. It is a spiritual battle of all spiritual battles. Those who have been in power have been of the dark side. Most have been removed. But people needing to look up to someone or needing to believe in old systems still actually think those individuals are wandering around as politicians, as actors, as actresses, as musicians. But they are no longer with us. They needed to be removed. The Lilith of all Liliths was removed from this planet. And it was not something a human could do, because the amount of evil that existed was so torturous and so sick that we as humans cannot imagine. I have seen unimaginable things. Things will eventually start to get exposed. If you are a light worker, you may not want to watch certain things because some of those things are so damaging that once you see them, you can never unsee them. And this is one section of balancing. You have to go into your heart and figure out how much you can see. You may find it odd because despite being a starseed, I have never been able to watch certain movies or certain space shows. I couldn't go see Avatar. I saw 2 seconds of it on TV, knew what it was about, and my heart broke. And I was like, I don't need to be drudged through all that. And as I understand, there's absolutely beautiful cinematography and beautiful colors and beautiful storylines. But why put myself through something I've been through? Same as Star Wars. I saw the first Star Wars. I was so devastated by it. And yes, there are beautiful parts, as I understand, to the newer Star Wars. And one day I might watch them. But I know when to balance. If my energy is off, the last thing that I'm going to do is go back and look at something that has to do with another war. If my energy needs balancing, the last thing that I'm going to do is watch what we have done to our children. Children need our love, our support. They do not need the things that we are still putting into their bodies without their consent. And we certainly do not need the evil agenda. But there are only so many things that you can control. And right now, in some mass moves that are going to be coming to us, that will rock many people who have not yet paid attention to any of this, we are now in a form in 3 different levels. In this balancing, we have the beautiful individuals who have moved already to the higher dimensions, hanging out, playing, enjoying, doing what they love, spreading their light, not worrying about all these other things that are going on because they've moved to the point in which they can freely live. No matter what happens to planet Earth, they can freely be within themselves. And they have reached a state of what is called 0 point. 0 point is this beautiful ebb and flow where you know that, well, when one thing ends, another one is beginning, and then that ends, and the next one is beginning. And then you're little by little going through and you're learning wonderful new things, and you're starting to play more, and you accept that universe will give you everything that you need when you need it. And you look at other people and you just let them be because you have found loving detachment. It is not for you to save them. It is not for you to judge them. It is for you to joyfully let them be exactly where they need to be, because that's their lesson. That's where they need to be at this moment. There are others who are right in the middle of the tumultuous storm. Their physical bodies are up and down, heart palpitations, stomach aches, food allergies they haven't had before, headaches, migraines, all these physical symptoms as their body and their mind is battling away. Which one is going to win today? Is it going to be my mind? Is it going to be my body? Woof! All these energies are coming in. I don't even know which direction to go into. Welcome to Ascension. Aren't you glad you signed up for this life? And that's going to go on for a while longer. The most important thing, pay attention to your body. You have to take some time to meditate, to go within and to find your own balance. Because it's in finding your own balance and actually being able to manage the physical symptoms, continue to grow, let go of, anything that needs balancing. So if you're working on your shadow side, get through your shadow side so that you can come back into a state of relaxation and just go through the waves. They're up and down, they're all around, and just focus on you. It is okay to just focus on you, because in the middle of the wave, in the middle of everything going on, if you save yourself, like my lifeguard lesson video that I did, no one else will need to save you. And you know what? One day you'll just pop up at the top of the wave, and all of a sudden it's like the storm's still going on around you, but you're in that beautiful calm water. And that is such a great place. And you will know that you got you there. You with your guides, with your strength of source, with you continuing to release and let go of all the things that no longer serve you, of the lies and the indoctrinations you've been fed. You moved through the storm and got into the beautiful, calm, relaxing waters. Now, there is a huge portion of the population, way more than we would even believe, that still haven't even gotten to see the real storm. Those guys are feeling off. They're in their 3D worlds. And if they haven't already soul contracted to literally just finish out this life and die and go to another 3D planet, which many will, and that's okay, that's where they need to be. But the ones who are still waking up, which many of us can't believe that it's still happening because we've been through this drama for so many years. But those ones are going to have these catalysts. They feel uneasy inside. They know something's going to happen. And therefore, a whole nother push is going to come through to start to wake them up. And their world will fall around them because they will not be able to believe, like once upon a time we didn't believe, these really evil, horrible things actually existed. But here's the thing. We as a collective, are the ones who move the world, the earth. The earth actually doesn't move us. These events don't actually move us. We collectively work together. Light workers, old souls, all the individuals, the new ones who came in who are just holding pure light and love. We collectively said, we're done with that old world. We are moving and have moved already into higher dimensions. And now we're playing in those higher dimensions, deciding what it is that we actually really want to do with all this freedom, all this beauty, all this love, all this peace. You can move into that level anytime you're ready by asking your guides, calling upon the angels and the archangels, and no longer participating in the old news. But if you are pulling yourself down to spend hours and hours on social media trying to educate everybody as to what's happening this second, you are losing the most valuable part of your life, which is true freedom, true oneness, skipping to learn about you, not in a narcissistic way, skipping to find out all those things about you, hidden in the Akash, in the lives that you've lived before, in the star systems that you came from. So why are you denying yourself that? Only you can deny yourself beautiful cosmic flow and peace. Only you can deny yourself staying balanced when these spiritual battles are going on. Because the truth is, many of these spiritual battles are eventually going to happen with beings so highly advanced that they will do the final battle. And that is not for the human. Maybe for one of our multidimensional selves. But get back to the now moment. What is it that you can do now to love all others around you? Detached, but unconditionally loving. How can you find your 0 point? How can you find peace in every single solitary moment, even if everything around you looks completely perverted, convoluted, and messed up? All the old systems will come to an end. Have you prepared yourself for the new world? Have you thought about it? Have you dreamt about it? There is no going back. What has been done to so many people has consequences. Justice is being served. But that justice, you don't necessarily have to watch down the road, and you certainly cannot be the judge. And this is where I always come back to one of my very, very favorite sayings in the Bible, which, of course, if you don't know, the Bible talks about UFOs all the time. What are the wheels within wheels of Ezekiel? Fascinating. Look at how people lived for 600 years. Look at those that were transfigured. Yes, pieces of the Bible definitely have shown us. But when a system came in, religion, and took away reincarnation from the Bible, made us have to go to to repent. When we stopped calling on the archangels and angels as our co-creator, brothers and sisters, Jesus as our brother, when we stopped being equal, having our own talents, we let others take control and step in. Are you still going to let that happen? Are you still playing political games, religious games? Are you still trying to control others? Are others trying to control you? Let it all go. And start to think about a real world that exists, that none of this, none of it, no religions, no politics, no medicine, no psychology, none of it is needed because everybody operates in true oneness. When you read each other's minds, there's no secrets, nothing to hide. And you have the opportunity to start choosing where it is you're interested in exploring now. And in the Bible, it said, God spoke. In Job 38:31, canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades or loose the bands of Orion? Do you even know what that means? Yes, Pleiades. Yes, star beings are Pleiadian. We come from all different interdimensional realities and beings and places. But there is significance about binding the chains of the Pleiades or loosening the belt of Orion. Have you ever looked into your true history? Why is there Orion's belt? What are the three stars? Where did we come from before we arrived here? And why did so many of us, I think probably all of us, because I think there's a natural order of stars that you have to come through before you can do the journey here. Why did so many of us come through Pleiades? Why do so many of us relate to the Orion Wars? Why do so many know or feel the pain of Mintaka? Who were the Lyrans? What was Atlantis about? If you think pyramids were built by men, slaves, hauling up on a cart, block after block, you're missing 99% of your history and living in the 1% that is a lie because it's what you were taught in school. In this final battle, you can no longer accept what has been taught to you. Every moment of your life, other than some of the things that you have to get done, and other than, yes, popping in to see where the news is, keeping yourself safe, putting you in a bubble, calling on your angels, your star being families, other than that, you owe it to yourself to concentrate and go within. Go within. Even if it feels ridiculous, like you're just sitting there because you don't really feel like you're meditating. When you sleep, you are doing way more work than you even realize. We have been told, and we know, the light has won. But for some, they're getting tired of hearing that because they've heard it for 5 years or 6 years. Well, welcome to the first wavers who have heard this for 50 years. Of course, the light won. Now the question is, can you hold your light so strongly that there is no winning or losing? That you know that happened, so get on with your life. What beauty are you going to bring and share with the world? That may not require monetary compensation, but it just makes you happy. How are you going to share your love with others in a world where all the old systems have fallen? Because like I said earlier, we move the world. It doesn't move us. How collectively are we going to send love to each other, even though we have never met, and know that our light and our love is stronger than any physical battle on this planet, as we allow the true spiritual warriors from the various dimensions to finish off the battles that humans cannot do. Are you sending them love? Are you sending them thank you? Just think about it, because the tides are turning, and I don't want one of you left behind. I know it's a lot to think of. This was a long one, but so much is going on. The more prepared you can be, the more centered and focused you can be. Research 0 point. Research loving detachment. Really, it is time you got to anchor in that light. Don't worry if it feels weird. Know that there is an invisible army around you, but work with them. They're there for you. And soon we will all be rejoicing. If you like this message, don't forget to hit like, subscribe. I have a couple openings at the moment, and I wish you the most beautiful, glorious day. And as I always say, you just did your work. Now, go play. Love you.